Lost Son, written and read by Booker Tullo. Cece opened her eyes, and it was a new day. She yawned and stretched. Then she lined up all her sons, gave them each a kiss on the head, and told them how much she loved them. "You guys are the best," she said. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. Cece opened the front door, and standing right in front of her was none other than Booker. "Good morning," he said. Cece smiled. "Good morning, Booker." Booker brought his hands from behind his back and presented Cece with a new son. It was a fluffy white duck. "This is for you," he said. Cece's face lit up, and she took the duck and hugged it. "Thank you, Booker," she said. "I love him." "What will he be called?" asked Booker. Cece pondered for a moment, then her eyes widened. "Stew!" she exclaimed. Booker giggled. "I think that name suits him well." They both went inside and sat on Cece's bed. "What do you want to do today?" asked Cece. Just then, Booker's phone rang. "Hello?" he said. "Oh, hey Tegan, is Sarah with you? Tell her I said hi. I'm not doing much, just hanging with Cece." "A picnic? That sounds great. Okay, we'll meet you there." "That was Tegan," said Booker. "She and Sarah want us to come to the park for a picnic." "That sounds fun," Cece exclaimed. "It's such a nice day." Booker and Cece went into the kitchen and picked out some snacks and drinks. "Let's head out. We've got a bus to catch," Booker said. "I'm bringing stew," Cece said. They headed out the door with their yummy picnic stuff and stew. Stew was a very handsome duck, and Cece was very happy to have him. She was so excited to take him on his first adventure. Booker and Cece skipped all the way to the bus stop. The bus pulled up, and they got on and found seats. Cece sat Stew up against the window so he could look outside. Booker and Cece held hands and smiled. Today was going to be such a lovely day. The bus got to their stop, and Booker and Cece got off, still holding hands. The bus drove off, and they headed for the park to meet their good friends Tegan and Sarah. They got to the park and looked around for their friends. Booker spotted Tegan and Sarah, and they waved excitedly to each other. "Let's go," Booker declared. "I'm hungry," said Cece. "Can't wait to eat." They went to the picnic table where Tegan and Sarah sat, and everyone exchanged greetings. "Thanks for inviting us," Booker said. "Yeah," Cece added. "Thanks so much. It's great to see you two." The four of them talked and ate and laughed. But then Cece cried out, "Oh no! I don't have stew!" Booker frowned. "You must have left him on the bus." Tegan and Sarah looked concerned. "Who's Stew?" Sarah asked. "He's a duck plushie I gave Cece this morning," Booker explained. "We have to find him," Cece said unhappily. Booker was sad. He looked at Tegan and Sarah and spoke. "This was fun, but we gotta go look for Stew." "We understand," said Tegan. "I hope you find him soon," Sarah said. "Let's go," said Cece impatiently. She took Booker by the hand, and they ran towards the bus stop. "It's been long enough, so the next bus should be the same one we took earlier," exclaimed Booker. "I hope you're right," said Cece. When the bus showed up, Booker explained everything to the driver and asked him if he'd seen Stew. The bus driver frowned. "I remember that stuffed animal, but I saw a mother and child get off, and the kid was holding it tight." Booker frowned too, and looked back at Cece sadly. "What stop did they get off at?" Booker inquired. The bus driver answered quickly. "They got off near the ice cream shop downtown. I saw them go inside." Booker explained everything to Cece. "Let's get on the bus and go to the ice cream shop," he said. "I hope we find Stew soon," Cece whined. "We just gotta stay determined," said Booker. They climbed on the bus and sat down feeling anxious but hopeful. They got off at their stop and walked towards the ice cream shop. They looked around the place nervously and were sad to see no trace of any child holding Stew. Cece went up to the counter and explained the situation to the employee. Do you know where they went? Her name tag read Sally. Sally responded casually. I overheard the kid's mom talking about heading to the library. Cece and Booker looked at each other and sighed. I guess we're going to the library, said Booker. Yep, Cece agreed. We have no choice. Luckily, the library was close by, so the pair could get there on foot. The two trotted along towards the library. They got inside, and Cece yelled, Stew! A grumpy librarian shushed her. Sorry, said Cece. Should we split up? Asked Booker. No, said Cece. Don't leave me. I need your help. Got it, said Booker. We'll look together. They roamed the library, going up and down the aisles in search of the child that supposedly had stew. They got to the children's section, where they should have gone first, and Cece's eyes widened. Stew! She exclaimed, and there were no librarians around to shush her. Booker smiled. We found him. Cece sauntered up to the woman sitting with the child and said, Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry to bother you, but your kid has something that belongs to me. The woman looked confused. Cece sighed. That duck he's holding, it's mine. I left it on the bus. The woman looked annoyed. My little Sammy found that duck. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Cece got quiet, and her eyes welled up with tears. Booker went up to the woman. He was angry at her for being mean and making Cece cry. What's your problem? He snapped. The woman scoffed. Excuse me? That duck doesn't belong to you or your kid, and you made my girlfriend cry. Booker was furious. The woman turned red, but didn't give in. I told her, and I'll tell you the same. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. And it looks like your girlfriend is a weeper. The woman started laughing evilly. Booker turned to the child who had been watching the grown-ups wide-eyed. Sorry, buddy, he whispered. Booker snatched Stu from the child and grabbed Cece's hand. We gotta go, he yelled. Hurry! They teared out of there and ran through the library as fast as they could go. The woman chased after them. Booker quickly kicked a rolling stool behind them. The woman tripped over it and face-planted. She screamed, You'll pay for this! While shaking her fist. But they were gone, out the front door of the library in a flash. A bus happened to be stopped, and they got on and exhaled deeply. I can't believe you did that, said Cece. Believe it, said Booker and smiled. We made an enemy today, but at least I got Stu back, Cece said. She hugged him tightly. Gross, said Cece. I think that kid got ice cream on him. Booker laughed. He's been through a lot. We'll just throw him in the washer. Booker rested his head on Cece's shoulder and sighed. The day was almost over, and Stu was back where he belonged. Booker and Cece were together, and all was well. They rode home and discussed dinner options. Cece held Stu tight and vowed to never let him out of her sight. The end. If You Give a Moose a Muffin by Laura Jolfe Numroff. Read by Booker Tullo. If you give a moose a muffin, he'll want some jam to go with it. So, you'll bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam. When he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another, and another, and another. When they're all gone, he'll ask you to make more. You'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. When he opens the door and feels how chilly it is, he'll ask to borrow a sweater. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is loose. He'll ask for a needle and thread. He'll start sewing. The button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. So he'll ask for some old socks. He'll make sock puppets. When they're done, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He'll need some cardboard and paints. And then he'll ask you to help make the scenery. When the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. so he'll ask for something to cover them up. You'll bring him a sheet from your bed. When he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. He'll try it on and shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much, he'll knock over the paints. So he'll use the sheet to clean up the mess. Then he'll ask for some soap to wash it out. He'll probably want to hang the sheet up to dry. He'll go outside and put it on the clothesline. When he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bushes. Seeing the blackberries will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if you give him the jam, he'll want a muffin to go with it. The end. Is Your Mama a Llama? Read by Booker Tullo. Is your mama a llama? I asked my friend Dave. No, she is not, is the answer Dave gave. She hangs by her feet, and she lives in a cave. I do not believe that's how llamas behave. Oh, I said, you are right about that. I think your mama sounds more like a bat. Is your mama a llama? I asked my friend Fred. No, she is not, is what Freddie said. She has a long neck and white feathers and wings. I don't think a llama has all of those things. Oh, I said, you don't need to go on. I think that your mama must be a swan. Is your mama a llama? I asked my friend Jane. No, she is not, Jane politely explained. She grazes on grass, and she likes to say, moo. I don't think that is what a llama would do. Oh, I said, I understand now. I think that your mama must be a cow. Moo. Is your mama a llama? I asked my friend Clyde. No, she is not, is how Clyde replied. She's got flippers and whiskers and eats fish all day. I do not think llamas act quite that way. Oh, I said, I'm beginning to feel that your mama must really be a seal. Is your mama a llama? I asked my friend Rhonda. No, she is not, is how Rhonda responded. She's got big hind legs and a pocket for me, so I don't think a llama is what she could be. Oh, I said, that is certainly true. I think that your mama's a kangaroo. Is your mama a llama? I asked my friend Lynn. Oh, Lloyd, don't be silly, Lynn said with a grin. Your mama has big ears, long lashes, and fur, and you, of all people, should know about her. Our mamas belong to the same herd, and you know all about llamas, 'cause you are one too. Yes, you are right, I said to my friend. My mama's a llama. And this is the end. The Berenstain Bears Go to School, read by Booker Tullo. It had been a wonderful summer for the Bear family. They had gone swimming and boating at the lake. They had picnicked in the woods and taken many long walks along sunny paths. But now summer was just about over. There was a nip in the air. The birds were beginning to fly south, and the leaves on the treehouse were changing colors. One evening at supper, Brother Bear said, I'm getting tired of summer vacation. I think I'm ready to go back to school. That is good news, said Papa Bear, because school will be starting again very soon. Sister Bear's ears perked up at the word school. Mama Bear noticed. "As a matter of fact," she said, "Sister and I are going to meet her new teacher tomorrow." This year Sister would be starting kindergarten, and she wasn't quite sure how she felt about it. The next day, Mama and Sister packed a lunch and took the long walk down the winding dirt road to the Bear Country School. Handy Bear Gus was up on a ladder, fixing the roof. "Hello," said Mama. "This is Sister Bear. She starts kindergarten next week." "We'll be glad to have her," said Gus. "Miss Honey Bear is the kindergarten teacher. You'll find her inside." "Hello there," said Miss Honey Bear in a loud, jolly voice. "Come right in and look around." Sister thought Miss Honey Bear's voice was a little scary, but she let Miss Honey Bear take her hand and lead her into the kindergarten room. What a big friendly room! It had yellow curtains and tables and chairs that looked just right for someone Sister's size. "What do you do in kindergarten?" Sister asked as they sat down for lunch. "We read stories, sing songs, learn our ABCs, paint pictures, play games, make things out of clay, build with blocks. We do lots of things," said Miss Honey Bear. Those were all things Sister liked to do, and she had never seen such big jars of paint, or such fine blocks. There was even a whole barrel of clay. School might be fun after all, thought Sister by the time she and Mama started home. But when the big morning came, Sister began to worry again. "Mama," she said, "what if I don't like school? What if I just don't like it?" Just then the big yellow school bus pulled up to the treehouse. "Stop worrying," said Brother Bear. "School is fun. You'll like it. Now let's get going or we'll miss the bus." He grabbed her hand and away they went. Every so often the bus stopped and more bears climbed on. Most of them were excited like Brother, but some of the smaller ones were quiet like Sister. As more and more old friends climbed on, they got noisier and noisier, and the smaller ones got quieter. The little bear who sat next to Sister began to look worried, so she smiled at him and held his hand. At last the bus arrived. The Bear Country School looked very nice. Handy Bear Gus had fixed the roof, and painted the trim and cut the grass, and Miss Honey Bear's kindergarten room looked beautiful. Everything was ready. Before very long, the kindergartners got noisy. 2 of them wanted to play with the same dump truck. 2 others wanted to look at the same book. And a whole gang of them wanted to be first to play with the blocks. What a commotion! Suddenly, a loud, jolly voice called out, "Story time!" Miss Honey Bear was calling the class to the book corner. That quieted things down. After the story, Sister tried everything. She painted a picture, helped build a block city, made a giant clay donut, and looked at the books. She ate all of her bread and honey at snack time, and she fell asleep at nap time. When she climbed off the bus with Brother at the end of the day, Sister was the excited one. "Mama, Papa, look what I did in school today," she said, holding up her painting. A few days later, the weather turned warm again, as it sometimes does in early fall. Brother was restless at breakfast. "I wish it was still summer vacation," he said, "so I wouldn't have to go to school today." "Oh, come on, Brother Bear," said Sister. "School is fun. Let's get going or we'll miss the bus." On the bus, all the bears were talking about the things they were going to do at school. Soccer practice, science projects, music lessons, all kinds of things. Thought Brother. Sister Bear was right. School is fun. And off they went in the big yellow school bus to the Bear Country School. The end. If You Give a Pig a Party by Laura Numroff. Read by Booker Tullo. If you give a pig a party, she's going to ask for some balloons. When you give her the balloons, she'll want to decorate the house. When she's finished, she'll put on her favorite dress. Then she'll call all her friends to invite them to the party. Her friends won't be home, so you'll go with her to look for them. On the way, she'll see a street fair. She'll want you to take her on the bumper cars. All her friends will be there. Then you'll have to take her on all the rides. She'll want to play all the games, too. When she's done, she'll ask you for some ice cream. When she's finished eating the ice cream, she'll need to change her clothes. You'll have to take her home. She'll ask her friends to come along. On the way, she'll start a game of hide and seek. When you finally get home, you'll have to make dinner. Then you'll want to have a sleepover. You'll have to find pajamas and blankets and pillows for everyone. When she sees the pillows, she'll probably start a pillow fight. Then she'll make a fortress out of blankets. Of course, when she's finished, she'll want to decorate it. So, she'll ask for some balloons. And chances are, if you give her some balloons, she's going to ask you for a party. The end.